What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. Well, y'all, welcome back to another episode, y'all. What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Hey, man, it's been a week. I feel like every week has been a week. Who am I kidding? Every week has been a week, but we still here. We made it. Another day, another dollar, and another Black News episode of topics. Now, every time I say like, "Oh, it's gonna be short and sweet," it don't end up being short and sweet. But literally, there are only maybe like 2, 3 topics that I'm going to talk about, and I don't want to spend too much time on each. But child, who knows? Because y'all know once I get to going, child, who am I fooling? But this first topic and the conversations around it really saddens me because as we're getting older, it's starting to be revealed that a lot of people that we were fans of or admired, grew up listening to, supported, don't have the same viewpoints as us. Now, let me say this. I'm not saying that everybody has to think the same way, right? I am not a believer that everybody got to think the same way. That's not the case. But where we are at this point in time, this moment in time, the way you align politically and your decisions and the choices that you make can literally lead to someone being harmed, right? That there's no the who you decide to support and back and align with can dictate whether certain people are going to be put in power and have the authority and the ability to harm people just like you or people who are totally different from you. All of our decisions have power and they have consequences, whether those consequences are good and bad. And as an adult, you would think that people know that, but y'all, some people they don't really be caring. Okay. Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood. Hey man, word to John. So specifically with this one, it has been, and y'all, this is the conspiracy with this that I'm really that I'm really thinking about. I talked about last episode how this summer there was a lot of tours going out, right? It's a lot of Black artists going on tour. You got to save up your coin. One specifically that is going out that I was looking forward to attending was En Vogue, Salt and Pepper, and TLC. I talked about this during when I was speaking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame honorees, where Salt and Pepper was inducted, because Salt and Pepper, I've been listening to Salt and Pepper since I was second grade. I told y'all about how we used to roller skate on Fridays at the elementary school in my neighborhood, and Get Up by Salt and Pepper was one of my favorite songs. I had to be like 6 or 7 years old. I was a child. That was one of my favorite songs. So I was looking forward to this. I saw En Vogue and TLC perform at like an after party event, and I had years ago, and I had the blast. So I saw this. I was like, okay, great. But it was such a coincidence that once that was announced, maybe like a couple days later, info on social media started to drop and leak that says that one of the members of TLC, Chili, was a supporter of the red hats. Okay. They said she got the red hat. Maybe she got it on. Not literally, but figuratively. And people started posting receipts. Now, this came out of nowhere, right? This came out of nowhere. And now that we are in the thick of it, I'm going to jump ahead real quick and go back. Now there's audio that leaked, and it's allegedly, I guess, I don't know if it's AI or not, that where T-Boz was doing an interview when she said on the radio, like, yeah, my bandmate voted for him. So, hey, who knows? Again, AI be kicking our butt. Let me go back. So it was a shock to me to hear that, right? Whenever I hear a black woman specifically aligning with ideals that extreme, especially in entertainment, I am really taken aback. And I say that because now, one, Southern, there's a lot of Southern black people who are conservative. I know this. But one thing that happens when you work in entertainment, and maybe this has got something to do with you working in entertainment and you based on in LA versus based in the South. And this is not a blanket statement. It's some nuances within this. You are exposed and around to a lot of different people from different backgrounds. When I growing up, um, I was only exposed to the people around me, grew up just like me, went to college, that broadened my horizons a little bit more, moved to New York even more, LA even more. The people that I have met in the entertainment industry working out here are some of the most eclectic, diverse people that I have ever known. Some of my closest friends are members of the LGBTQ plus community. I'm talking about my dogs. So me just being in the entertainment industry has opened my eyes and exposed me to people who grew up differently, were born differently than I was. I couldn't imagine being in the business that I am. And this is what's so shocking to me every time I see somebody, especially entertainment, who is conservative. Not to say that you can't, but it's shocking. I just it's I couldn't imagine being in such a creative environment and getting to know so many different types of people and still holding on to ideology or thought processes that were closed minded. And I'm saying still, not to say that I used to hold those ideologies. I'm saying this just in general, right? So to hear that, I was shocked, stunned. Now, am I shocked? It seemed like every week we hear some come about somebody we like growing up, some, whatever, actors, art, whatever, having ideals that align with the red hat. Some are more shocking than others. Some I'm not surprised by, and I'm not trying to be biased when I say this. A lot of the men who I hear news about, I'm not shocked about those, because that, like, male celeb rapper, black male, the red hat pipeline, it's very interesting. It's an interesting dynamic. But this one did sting me, especially considering that 92% of women who voted for Kamala Harris. That black women this past year alone, or year and a half, or ever since whenever, maybe a year and a couple months, have been strategically removed, pushed out of the workforce. Black unemployment is at an all-time high. Hundreds of thousands of black women were removed from their jobs in the federal government alone. That's not even dipping across other industries. That was a specific and targeted effort to do that. And anybody who doesn't understand that is, they walk around with their damn eyes closed. The reports done came out and they said there was no money saved, no savings that happened from all those cuts. And we all know this information. And as a black person, a black woman, to still align with that, it's baffling to me. It has to be some deep conservative, white nationalist. It's something that will cause you to say, this person, these people are disenfranchising my demographic. I am no more special to them than anyone else, but let me support. I personally don't understand that. I do, but I won't say understand it. I know, I feel like I know what they be thinking. I don't like it and I don't agree. So while all of this information is coming out, what also started to leak is that there was a repost on Instagram that highlighted some misinformation and just some nasty salaciousness that was saying that Michelle Obama wasn't a woman, was a man or something. There were people taking screenshots of posts that were liked saying Georgia votes for the man with the red hat. The president, the election was won by man with the red hat. Like these posts, because you know what the internet gonna do. They're gonna grab some stuff. That's why I think it's real convenient though how all of this was just saved and dumped out to the public at this moment in time. Somebody out to get that girl. Okay, there's somebody out. Hey, somebody out to get you. I don't know who it is. Then also people started dropping the screen grabs of people that she follows as of now, conservative people. At one point they said it was the man who got unlived over there. And I'm y'all, if you're just now listening to Black News, you knew here they be censoring people, okay? And they be censoring people meaning me. So I try to limit the names that I'm speaking on here so I can keep posting this podcast. And so all of this is being dumped out right now. Now, let's say those ideals are actually the way that you think, right? You support the hat people. You like that ideology. Okay. But to then repost content saying that Michelle Obama was a man? Like, are you kidding me? That. Like, are we really doing that? Are we really doing that? Are we really, really aligning with that? Like some things are shocking, but some things are just hurtful and dumb. Like, are we really doing that? Then people started dropping screenshots of donations to the Red Hat people. Now, wasn't much, some hundreds of dollars, didn't crack over a thousand, but donations to what? So all of this came out. Now immediately, people started to say something got to happen because this is going to affect the tour, right? This going to affect the tour, and you better hurry up and save face because this ain't gonna work. It's literally not going to work. So then she posted a statement, right? Okay. And it said the caption, I want to be clear. I am not Red Hat and do not support any of the many policies that are causing great harm to the American people. I made a mistake too many make. I did not read the fine print. I thought I was supporting causes against human trafficking and for veterans. Two things I care deeply about as my dad is a veteran and everyone knows I love children. I have learned a valuable lesson and ask for grace as I navigate this. The statement it says, I want to be clear. I'm not Red Hat and I do not support any of the many policies that are causing great harm to the American people. I made a mistake too many make. And again, this is just reiterating what was written in the caption. There's also a video, but I'm not going to play that. Then people then they doubled down. People were like, well, okay, but you made a mistake donating? Or you made a mistake what was the mistake? Because one thing that people need to really start to do is stand by your beliefs. Like stand by it. Like if you donate it, you donate it. If you think someone is a man, that's what you think. You have to stand by your beliefs. And if your beliefs cause you to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars and take a hit when your biggest support system, your biggest moneymaker are Black women, baby, you gotta stand in it. Like I don't this whole being ashamed of your beliefs. I get it. But then you shouldn't, if you know voting or aligning with something is gonna get you backlash, then why are you doing it? Like I just, ugh. And so with that backlash comes the conversations around now what's next. Because people Y'all know one thing, black women strict, boy. We do not behave, man. We strict. Some not so much. But this, especially in this economy, this has the potential to really go down, like it can flop. And that sucks for the other groups involved because there's nothing that anybody can really do about this. This is a crisis. This is when you hire a different PR team, a different social media manager to get you together and to clean this up. I don't know how this would be cleaned up from that perspective. I honestly don't think that you can. I think the only options are either A, you keep going as is with the dates, and you bank on your conservative fan base to pick up the slack and the ticket slack of the black women who not gonna go anymore. Like you really didn't push hard for that demographic, which I don't think is can cover the costs. Or you gotta bow out and put somebody else in because people are already on there talking about some. Then now, okay, great. Now get SWV Escape back in there and throw Maya in for the for a couple songs. Either way, I don't see a way out of this because from a contract perspective, is this a breach of contract? Like somebody is this it's a lot of money tied up in this, and this is just bad all around. And even with this, now people are coming out being like, so and so, they red hat too. It's just never ending. People also are trying to highlight and say there is a discrepancy between the backlash that black male artists get versus black women artists get, and they're pointing to Chrisette Michelle and like that, and then other rappers who recently have been caught up in similar situations. What I'll say about that is, I think the difference with a lot of those people, their fan bases aren't and I won't say solely because I'm not saying that TLC's fan base is solely black women, but the majority of their fan base probably is. Where with a lot of rappers, especially male rappers, y'all know the largest demographic of people who listen to rap music are white males. It's not black people, it's white guys. So if you piss off your black fan base, it's you're still likely to still have a large number of supporters because they don't probably care. They don't care. So any backlash that you get, you're not taking a huge financial hit unless your fan base is primarily black women. We have been known to be stricter with this. 92% of people showed up and voted. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's different. I think if you look at their black women support of some of those artists, I feel like it's gonna be about the same. I feel like it's gonna be about the same, and it varies by generation. This is just my honest opinion, and again, this is just me, and all of this is allegedly, child. I'm just reading the papers. This is what I feel. I think too. When you get the breakdown by baby boomer, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z, I find that baby boomers and Gen X are a little more lenient with people and with situations, and millennials and Gen Z are a little more strict. That's just what I've observed. It could be off, who knows, but we gonna see. Let me know what y'all thought about this situation though. Were you disappointed? Were you not shocked? Did you already know this? Like when you heard the news come out, like, oh, she got the red hat on. Were y'all like, oh, I knew that? I didn't know. Let me know what y'all thought though. You can find me at Canelia on social media. And so, going from what I just mentioned and discussed, we then have another situation of misinformation. It just, y'all, it's Nick Cannon. Now, again, I do not think that celebrities and entertainers should be looked at for like political um commentary. right? I don't believe that. Now, do some know what they talking about? Sure. Listen, cause get Jesse Williams on the phone, okay? Get Jesse Williams. Remember Jesse Williams, and the circumstances around him doing this were unfortunate because he was doing a lot of protesting and organizing when Mike Brown was unalived in Ferguson. But y'all remember when Jesse Williams used to be on the news cussing everybody out and getting them together for black people? Remember Jesse Williams was on did the BT, he got the BT award and he did the speech. Y'all, there's certain people they know what they're talking about, but it's just because Jesse Williams is educated. He was an educator. Okay. He ain't new to this. But some people, celebrities, they don't be know what they talking about. Okay. They don't be knowing what they talking about. In this instance, he was doing an interview or talking to somebody. I don't know. I honestly, I don't even know where the original comment was filmed or recorded. But he made a comment that basically said that the Democrats are a party of the KKK and praises the Red Hat Man, saying he's cleaning house. This is what I read on social media. It says media personality Nick is stirring controversy after sharing blunt political takes during a recent episode of his web talk show Big Drive. Okay, that answers that. During a recent conversation, he referred to the Democratic Party of the KKK while agreeing with the guests, and this was Amber Rose, who claimed Democrats don't care about people of color and the Republicans do. Cannon doubled down on the remarks, telling Rose, I agree with you 100%, before adding, people don't know that the Democrats are a party of the KKK. People don't know how the Republicans are the party that freed the slaves. He also made it clear he doesn't align with either party, saying he doesn't subscribe to either party, referencing W.E.B. Du Bois, saying there's no such thing as two parties. Conversation then turned to the Red Hat Man, where he said voices support for his leadership, saying he's motherfuckers clean the house, and he doing what he said he was gonna do. He then continued to add additional commentary saying, we got the Gulf of America now. And he's like the club. He's charging a $5 million bottle service fee to get into this country. Now, and I'm not going to read that. That was enough. But let me start off with this. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to play a video so people can explain it. Because the challenging thing here is that we of course, I feel like we all have stopped doing this, but I'm gonna remind us we need to stop assuming that people actually learn things and that each school across the country taught accurate history or informed people or that people were listening and didn't skip school. Because I thought we knew the story of the two political parties and who aligned with who and then what caused the flip. I thought we knew that. I could have swore that we knew that. But let's start today. And we can go back to 2016. At the time, the head of the Klan said who he was voting for, and that who the Klan was aligning with. Who was it? Who they say? It wasn't Hillary? Who they say? In 2026, who do we think that they aligning with, that they voting for? Okay, we'll start there and go back. So many things have happened in this country regarding politics in those two parties. And a lot of the flip flop, and if I'm saying a lot because I want to say all of it, but I'm just gonna give people the benefit of the doubt, whatever happened because of policies and other people aligning with and attempting to help black people. That's where the flip flopping came, right? Because when one party wanted to help black people, the other party got mad and flipped. That rinse and repeat. But one of the substantial moments within that was during the 1960s Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act. That caused, in the conversations, debate, the political movements around that moment in time was what would cause some of the most significant shifts within the two-party systems. Back in the day, did the Republican Party, were they aligned with Abraham Lincoln? Yeah. Then what happened? Okay? Because when people say that, they be saying it as if like the same people within that party are the same people within that party now. Like you can't honestly believe that. Can you? I'm also really frustrated that Because for some people, unless you like really be up in the library and got a library card, shout out to Hoopla and Libby, because if you got a library card, you can get online books, audio books, ebooks, every magazines, uh, movies, music for free. So there really is no excuse. But let's say you don't know about that. If you have money, you have access to education and books. Books can be very expensive for people who can't afford them. Reading can be expensive. So to have a lot of money and to have a lot of reach, you could easily pick up a book and crack it open. There's really no excuse. And I'm making money, I ain't got time, I got all these businesses. Great. Put the audiobook on. You can download Audible. That's expensive, but you got the money because you have multiple businesses and different platforms. Just get Audible. Cut the damn book on. At this point in time, there's no excuse for people to be uneducated. There's no excuse, okay? None. So let me play this clip because I played his clip before and I enjoy his content because he be putting things into perspective. And I like people who think. Joshua Doss. Okay. I'm gonna play Joshua's clip about this, and it's not even targeted. Yes, from on a surface level, it sounds like it's addressing what this particular instance, but it's bigger than that. We gotta wake up. So I'm gonna play this, and then we're gonna keep going.
100%. People don't know that the Democrats is the party of the KKK. Yeah. Let's say everybody around you was like, yo, you need to start learning about politics, and you held off for a minute. But then you were finally like, all right, I'll learn something. And this world is really new for you. Like, you've heard the words before, like Democrat, Republican, but you don't really know what they mean. And when you're on this journey, somebody tells you that the Democratic Party created the KKK. That would be jarring. That would be extremely confusing for you. Because you know that that's the party that most black people vote for. That wouldn't make any sense. And now the very people who told you to learn a little something are screaming at you and calling you a dumbass and telling you to stay in your lane. That don't make any sense. I'm not going to discourage this journey you're on. You're trying to learn something. I love it. Keep going. Keep going, actually. You opened that book. You read that article. You watched that video. You took the first step. I'm proud of you. You're about to learn so much about the world around you if you just don't stop. So let's ask the next question, because it is crazy, right? The Democratic Party created the KKK, but you look around, all black people vote for the Democratic Party. That don't make no sense, right? 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 Because there's more. American political parties are houses. You have the House of the Democratic Party. You have the House of the Republican Party. The houses don't create anything. The people inside of the houses do. You can only have two types of people in those houses. You can have conservatives or liberals. White conservatives lived inside of the House of the Democratic Party at that time, and they did not want black people to be seen as human. They were very violent, for sure. Here's a fun fact for you. Everywhere white conservatives have been throughout history ain't a place black people want to be. Then, from within the Democratic House, a man named Lyndon B. Johnson passed the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, two of the most important pieces of legislation for your freedom as a black American. A traitor, they said, those white conservatives inside of that Democratic House. It ran them out of the House. It went over to the Republican House. That's called party realignment. And that's why you see more black people finding a home in the Democratic House, staying far away from them white conservatives that created the KKK. They went over there, we came over here. You see what I'm saying? Just keep going, bro. Keep going. You hear something and it doesn't make sense. Stay curious. Ask the next question. I love this for you. You learning something. Let's go.
I would also, again, there's so many books about this. One book that surprisingly, and it's not surprising when you think about it, but it did highlight it for me in a very, very tangible and enlightening way, is the book about the Chicago Defender. It's called The Defender. Huge book, lots of pages. Child, if you got some time, read it. But it's gonna take you a while because that motherfucker long. But I brought this up too because this book really motivated me in a lot of ways. and gave me ideas that I still ain't implemented, but it's on my heart. Okay, I ain't forgot about it. But it basically chronicles and highlights the story and the history of the Chicago Defender and other Black newspapers, the founding, the mission, the work that it took to keep the newspapers afloat, the types of stories that they wrote, the way the newspaper and this one in particular was a part of the national conversation for Black people as far as getting messages across the country, how it affected politics, the Great Migration, you name it. And one thing that the Defender did the good job of the book, it told the story from a news perspective of how elections and policies and political alignments were handled and spoken about during the time. It really documented how Black people, this election came up, and these were the stories of the time, and this is how it influenced the people who migrated to the north to vote in this way versus the people in the south who were still being more oppressed than they should have, and than their peers in the north. It painted a wonderful picture, but it did a good job of highlighting that party shift that we talking about here and what happened. And it happened not just one time, it happened slowly over the course of 60 some years, maybe 70, 80. But y'all see, it wasn't hard for me to find that information out. I knew it, right? I knew it before I read that book, but I just stumbled on more information and more context. Why? By doing what? Reading. Yeah, I was just reading and I said, oh, this is fascinating. It's giving you literal text from articles from a newspaper that was in circulation primarily and mainly for Black people only in the early 1900s. Wow, would you look at that? And this is someone who has decent resources, access to things, but I'm not a millionaire and I don't have things at my fingertips. So just imagine what somebody with a lot of money would be able to do. Just open up the books. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave it at that because we are in a crisis right now. We are under attack. We are in a crisis. They are trying to take away our history. They are trying to scrub the text. You name it, they're trying to do it. And if we are out here speaking misinformation, the people who don't have access to the education, don't read the books, will take what you said and run with it and think it's true when it's not. We have a responsibility, y'all. I can't, hey man, I'm fussing. What do y'all think though? Because I'm over it. I'm not over it, but I am. What y'all think about it though? Are you shocked? Are you in agreement? Who knows, child? And some of the most random people be stumbling across this podcast on YouTube, and they be cutting up. So if you are one of those people who are not in agreement of what happened during that time to make the party flip, please chime in. Let me know what you thought. Yeah, you can find me though at Cornelia on social media. On this week's episode of Black News, we talked about two Black celebrities that were caught up in political scandal due to their political leanings, political ideology, and the backlash that is currently happening as a result. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics, some or none, and I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Cornelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is cornelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.